Hey guys, it's Krista here with Blooms and Brushstrokes, and today we are going to get into our second holiday greeting card. We've done this one to begin with, a basic kind of Christmas bulb one, which turned out really cute and I love it. And then I did a short. I just did this for kind of practice the other day. This one, which I really loved. So we're going to do one similar to this. It's not going to be exactly the same. I've kind of drawn it out a little bit differently, but we're going to do one similar to this one today. So what I'm using, I've got my Yarka St. Petersburg paints. I just sprayed them all down, so I'm not going to hold it up, but you guys know what that is. If you've been watching for a while, I use those paints. So I've got those, I've got them activated. I've got a variety of brushes here. I typically stick to the number 8 round, which is my go-to, my number 1 script. And then this lovely little one, this 10/0 Princeton liner brush for the fine detail work with the stems and whatnot. So I'll have those, whoops, sorry guys. So I'll have those right handy. Then I also have my Micron Archival Ink Pens. And then I have the Winsor Newton metallic gold and silver ink. On this previous card, I used gold ink, which I think looks really, really good. I think we'll probably use gold again, but we'll see how I feel come the end of the painting. Maybe I want to switch it up because you know me, I don't love to do the same thing twice. So we may switch it up. But so today we are working on this beautiful one. I've taken a picture, so I will drop that here for you guys so that you guys can take a screenshot of it if you want to use it to draw your card out. It's a pretty basic drawing, to be honest. It's just got lots of leaves in it, and so it looks a little bit more detailed than what it actually is. However, with that being said, let's just get painting, you guys, and get on to the fun part. So here we go. Number 2, or I guess our second holiday greeting card. Oh, and as I said before, our greeting cards will get a little bit more detailed as we kind of go. So this one is still pretty easy. I would say these will all be very beginner friendly. So this one is for anybody and everybody, whether you're a beginner, you're intermediate, or you're, what do you want to call it? Like an artist, professional, novice, wherever you're at in your painting journey. These paintings are for anybody and everybody. So let's get cracking, you guys. Here we have our painting, our picture all set up, and we're ready to roll. And you can see my paints over here, my painting, and then I've got all my supplies. So I am going to paint similar to the colors on this one just because I love them so very much. I think they turned out really beautifully. So we're going to stick very close to that. Probably not totally exact because you know me, I'm always blending and mixing colors. However, we're going to do our best. So we're going to start by working on this big flower over here. And we're going to start by doing wet on wet. So we're going to wet our petal down. Same as always, you can leave a little bit of white out, or you can fill the whole thing in, doesn't matter. So in order to create that blue, I'm using the Blue Lake, which is this one here, mixed with the neutral black. Just a little bit of that neutral black, like a little goes a long way, and a lot of water. And you just want to make sure that before you put it down, you're not going to be going too deep with the color. You want it to be pretty light. Okay, and so we're just going to go in and drop color on that whole one there. Oh, as I've mentioned in the previous videos, these cards are off Amazon. I linked it in the first one. I will link it in this one. However, I did notice that says they're out of stock. So I would just find any watercolor cards that you can find in a large quantity. That's what I do. I just find whatever I can get that's in a large amount, so that I can do a lot of them, which I'm actually running low, so I'm gonna have to order some more. So when I do that, I'll let you guys know what I've ordered, because I went to go reorder these ones and get the link, and it said they were out of stock, so that is no good. So I'm just working my way around the flower here, doing all of the petals. If you want to do a little bit more advanced kind of technique, down in the center here would be a bit darker than on the tips, because it's more concentrated and there'd be more shadow because the flower is shaped like that. So, I mean, it doesn't matter, because we're going to be going over this with the Micron Archival Ink Pen, and we're also going to be going over it with some splatters and stuff. So there'll be some more detail in this picture that is that's created by other things other than the paint. So if you want to just go basic and not get too crazy, then by all means just go in and drop down some color, and it'll still give you the same effect of what we're going for. As I've said, these cards are not the greatest, but they do for what we're doing here. They don't really absorb the water and the color very quickly, which takes a little while to dry, or if you drop down too much water or too much paint, then it can sit like like this on there, and then it leaves a weird, it dries funny. So you just want to clean that up. Okay, we're gonna leave that one there for now. We'll probably add a little bit more color into it in just a few minutes, but we're gonna move on over and work on this one over here. We're just gonna kind of work down the page so we're gonna work on this guy over here. Now, in the previous one, this one was like a little bit more turquoise color. So let's go for it. We can do that. But again, I'm neutralizing some of that turquoise with some of that neutral black, so it's not so vibrant. And just make sure you got lots of water there. So the turquoise being this one here, and with the neutral black, just a hint of that neutral black, just a dot of it. Still doing the same technique, wet on wet. I'm going in and picking up some of that paint. It's just a little bit too abrupt. So we're going to let that one dry before we finish that one off, because we want to have a differentiation in the petals, but I don't want them to bleed together. So I'm going to work on this one over here. And I think I'll do this one in the same turquoisey colors. So I'm going to go do the middle one first. Drop down some water. Just like so. Awesome. And then we're going to go into this one, and we're going to do this one a little bit deeper. Same colors though, the blue lake as well, mixed with the neutral black. We're just going to go a little bit more intense with the pigment than this first one, just to give it a little bit more life. Oopsie. Okay. So there's a little bit of blue on my brush. That's fine. You wouldn't want that necessarily if you were going in to use a different color, but because we're using blues, it's not that big of a deal. I love that color. And we're just going to continue on. This is a very quick, you know, we can do this very quickly. It doesn't need to take forever. It doesn't need to be perfect either. Okay. Really loving that. I don't even know what she would like. Periwinkle is kind of coming to my head. I don't know if that's what you would describe this color as, but it's beautiful. And it's not traditionally Christmas or holiday style flower, but I mean, I love painting flowers, and it's my style, so that's why I'm doing this. Like, you know what? I'll have some very holiday themed cards to come, so we're just having fun. Okay, let's go work up this top one again. So we're gonna still use the blue with the neutral black, but we're gonna dilute that quite a bit more again, just so we're not going in too heavy. Woo. And we're just gonna add a little bit of shadow in there. So this leaf or this petal would be flipped over there. It's not gonna be, and then I'm just gonna go and just run it around a bit. So it's not just like that. And just the same under this one. Just like that. We can go and add a little bit more even. We'll work up from the middle here. Just adding a little bit of more depth in that center. All right, so we've kind of gone through that one, and then we're going to work on these turquoise ones again. So I'm going to leave the back petal just the way that it is. And I'm going in here with a little bit brighter turquoise. Or lighter, I guess I could say. And on this one, I think we'll leave the side ones just plain, and we're going to go over them with pen. We're going to go and do the leaves now, and so we're going to work with something very earthy and kind of sagey green. So we're mixing up the Russian green, which is this one here, with a little bit of the neutral black. A very small amount of it. That's going to give us a very organic kind of earthy green color. And we're going to work with a few different tones. So we're going to start up top just as we did with the flower, and we're going to work from the back ones forward. So we're going to go in with this one here, the back one here. And I'm going to get a little bit darker. So just a little bit more pigment or paint, you know, color. And we're going to go kind of along this other one because there'll be shadow cast on it. Just like that. We're going to let that one totally dry, and then we'll finish up the other one. So we can work on these ones over here. Same kind of thing. We'll go in with the deeper green in the background. And we'll do this one, that same color. As you can see, it's not crazy, the amount of paint and color. There's not a lot of it. It's very light and just soft kind of looking. I think that's what I love about this painting in general, is just the softness of it. We're just doing the odd one here and there. This one's coming from behind, so we'll drop that in there. Yeah, I'm loving that. I think I'm gonna add some of that one in here. We'll go with a little bit more turquoise on a couple of these petals that are turquoisey, just to have a little bit more jam. So this one here, I'm just going in with quite a bit of turquoise mixed with that neutral black to take away some of that harshness of the color. Just like so. I'm just doing that one over here. Awesome. I'm gonna add a little bit more in here because we've not gone over this one second time. Adding in just some of that. Just to give it a little bit more. Wonderful. That's nice. See how just a little bit of paint can really go a long way, and just add in a little extra dimension and just change the look of the whole flower in just a small amount of paint. Alrighty, so we're gonna let that totally dry up, you guys, and then we're gonna get out, while that's happening, get out our Micron pen, because we're gonna do that part next, and then we'll splatter some paint on afterwards. Oh, you can see where the water's drying a little bit wonky in the paint. So I'm just going and smudging that out so it doesn't have that weird water droplet. Okay, let's let that dry up. Trusty pen. We can get our paint out of the way. We don't need that anymore. So this flower up here is really dry. So we're just gonna work our way around it. Ever so lightly and softly. Sometimes if you guys have watched some of my painting, you will see that I go over it a couple times and it's really textured and jagged and loose and free. This one, I like the softness of the card, so I'm keeping the lines soft. make a circle there like so. So that looks really good. And then we can work on this one down, these leaves over here. Oh, there we go. And we're just working around everything ever so softly. Ooh, I kind of muddled that up actually. I forgot we were going to do some line work with the gold, but that's okay. We'll go in after. We're going down the stems, just nice and easily. And just take your time with this part so that you don't get carried away and things don't become a big mess. All right, you guys, so I'm curious if you are enjoying the holiday greeting tutorials thus far. If you guys like them, I would love to hear your feedback because that's what will keep me doing them. If you guys are still loving them and enjoying what I'm up to, then let me know. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel and you're enjoying what you're watching, give me a subscribe so you don't miss out on anything of what's to come. It's just about my second year, or I'm just finished, sorry, just about starting my second year of the YouTube channel. I think the anniversary will be coming up here soon because it started with doing Christmas card tutorials. That's how it started. So these aren't, the next part I'm going to do, they're not in this painting, but I have some leaves just in the background that I have done. And I'm just going to go plunk them in there. So if you guys have some empty spaces that you think, oh, a leaf might look good in there, go put one in. They can be small, they can be big, whatever you think. So the last time I used the gold metallic ink, which I think I'm going to use again, but I think I'm going to do gold metallic ink for outlining a little bit. And then I will do the splatters in silver. I think we're going to be crazy like that today. So you got to give up this ink. It really needs a good shaking. The ink settles very quickly. I want to go over some of these leaves. And in the previous one, I did the gold first. So just be careful to not go over the black ink. We're going to do a line up the center. Whoopsies, bump that. On some of these leaves. We can do this one over here. You don't want to have too much ink on there. I Kind of got a bit of a blop going on. And we'll do this one down here. Okay, I think that looks real good. And then I did the centers. And we're gonna go splatter, oopsie daisy, the silver on there for fun. So I'm using my #1 script brush. I often refer to these as pens, which is funny. Oh, I like that big glob. Okay, you guys, that is going to do it for that painting. So that's going to wrap it up for tutorial #2 for our Christmas greeting cards. I'm just going to take the tape off here quickly. It's still wet where the splatters of silver are because some of them are big. However, I'll quickly show you guys. It looks great. It looks awesome. So again, like I said, if you guys enjoy the tutorial, give me a thumbs up. That really helps to promote my content. So when you guys engage, it really helps to push my videos out to more people. So that is a huge part of YouTube, the engagement, the comments, the questions, the likes, the subscribes, all that stuff really helps out a lot. So if you guys can do that for me, I would appreciate it. And if you guys haven't subscribed, as I've said, please subscribe to my channel. And I think that's going to do it for us, you guys. So I have a couple more drawn up yet. Things are going really good so far. So we will be doing another Christmas card tutorial in our next video. So stay tuned, you guys, and we'll see you then.